Have you ever loved someone who pulled away the moment you got too close? Think about that feeling for a second. You care deeply. You want connection. You try to hold on tighter, but the more you hold, the faster they run. It leaves you confused. It leaves you asking, what did I do wrong? Here is the truth that will set you free. You did nothing wrong. You just didn't understand the map to their heart. Most people believe love means nearness. They think closeness equals safety. They think more words, more time, more attention will fix everything. But for an avoidant person, closeness feels like a cage. Your love, no matter how pure, can feel like pressure to them. Not because they are bad, not because they don't care, but because their nervous system has learned a different language. Let me explain something important from human psychology. Every human being has a deep need for connection, but some people grow up learning that connection comes with pain. Maybe their parents were inconsistent. Maybe every "I love you" came with a demand. Maybe their feelings were ignored. So their brain built a shield. That shield is avoidance. It is not coldness. It is self-protection. When you chase an avoidant, their brain hears danger. They do not think this. They feel it. Their heart rate goes up. Their breathing becomes shallow. They feel trapped. And the only way they know to feel safe again is to create distance. So they leave texts on read. They say, "I need space." They disappear for days. And you panic. You think, if I just explain my feelings one more time, they will understand. You think, if I show them how much I care, they will stay. But here is the painful truth. Your chasing triggers their fleeing. Every time you pull, they push. It becomes a dance of exhaustion. But what if I told you the opposite works? What if the key to their heart is not more pressure, but more space? This is not about playing games. This is about understanding how an avoidance mind works. When you create space, you do not disappear. You do not give up. You simply remove the pressure. And in that space, something magical happens. Their nervous system calms down. They stop feeling hunted. They start feeling curious. Here's the psychological principle you need to remember. People only open their hearts when they feel safe. Safety is not created by words. It is created by behavior. When you stop chasing, you send a silent message. That message says, I am secure. I do not need to control you. I respect your world. And that message is louder than any love letter you could write. Let me give you a reward for staying with me until the end of this video. By the time you finish watching, you will understand exactly how to create that space. You will know why avoidants return when you step back. You will know the 3 silent triggers that make them lean in again. And most importantly, you will stop blaming yourself. You will see that your love was never the problem. The strategy was, so take a breath, let go of the guilt, because today you learn the real key. Avoidant people are not broken. They are just trained by life to expect that love will hurt. Every time someone got too close in their past, something bad followed. Maybe criticism, maybe control, maybe abandonment after intimacy. So they built a rule inside their mind. That rule says, if I let someone in completely, I will get hurt again. Now here's what most advice gets wrong. They tell you to just leave. They say avoidants never change. But that is lazy advice. The truth is more beautiful. Avoidants can love deeply, very deeply, but you have to approach them like a wild animal in a forest. You do not run at it. You sit down, you look away, you let it come to you. That sitting down and looking away is what we call creating space. When you create space, you are not rejecting yourself. You are not pretending to be cold. You are simply giving their nervous system room to exhale. And when their nervous system exhales, their heart starts to whisper again. Let me walk you through the psychology step by step. First, understand the avoidance fear. It is not fear of love. It is fear of engulfment. Engulfment means losing yourself in another person. An avoidant has worked very hard to feel independent. Their independence is their armor. When you demand closeness, they feel you are trying to take that armor away. They panic. Second, understand their love language. It is not words of affirmation. It is not physical touch. It is respect for autonomy. When you give them space, you are speaking their love language. You are saying, I see you. I see your need for freedom, and I do not want to take it. Third, understand that space creates longing. Psychology calls this the scarcity principle. When something is less available, we want it more. When you are always available, an avoidant takes you for granted. But when you step back, they start to wonder. They start to miss you. Not because they are manipulative, because that is how human desire works. Think about a song you love. If you hear it every hour, you get tired of it. But if you hear it once a week, you crave it. The same is true for your presence. Space does not kill love. It refuels it. Now I know what you are thinking. But if I give space, they will forget me. That is your anxiety talking, and I understand. You have been hurt before. You have been left before. So your brain screams, hold on tighter, but that scream is lying to you. Let me prove it with a simple truth. Have you ever noticed that avoidants always come back when you finally move on? Why is that? Because when you move on, you stop chasing. You create natural space, and suddenly they feel safe enough to reach out. They are not coming back because you changed. They are coming back because the pressure is gone. You do not have to move on completely. You just have to act secure. Acting secure means you stop checking their location, stop sending double texts, stop asking, are we okay, every 5 minutes. You become a calm harbor, not a storm. A harbor does not chase ships, it simply exists. And ships return to harbors because harbors feel safe. Here is a deep motivational sentence. Let it sit in your chest. You cannot force a butterfly to land on your hand by chasing it. You can only stand still and become the flower it was looking for. Your stillness is your power. Your space is your magnet. Many people think giving space means giving up. No, giving space is the most active form of love for an avoidant. It requires more strength than chasing. Chasing is easy. It is fueled by fear. But stepping back, that takes courage. That takes trust. That takes knowing your own worth. And here is the secret reward. When you create space, you also heal yourself because you stop tying your value to their response. You stop waiting for a text to feel okay. You start living your own life. And that independence? That is exactly what an avoidant admires. They do not fall in love with people who need them. They fall in love with people who choose them. There is a difference between need and choice. Need says, I will die without you. Choice says, I want you, but I will be fine alone. Which one sounds more attractive? Which one feels lighter? Avoidants run from need. They walk toward choice. So how do you create space without being cold? You do not ignore them. You do not punish them. You simply match their energy. If they take 3 hours to reply, you take 3 hours. Not to play games, to respect your own life. You fill your day with your goals, your friends, your growth. You become busy in a beautiful way, and when they see you living fully, they feel safe to come closer. Why? Because a person with a full life does not drain others. An empty person clings, a full person shares. Let me give you another psychological fact. The brain releases oxytocin when we feel safe and connected. But for an avoidant, closeness too fast releases cortisol instead. Cortisol is the stress hormone, so every time you push, you are literally making them feel stress. And no one wants to feel stressed by love. Your goal is to lower their cortisol. Space lowers cortisol, time lowers cortisol. Consistency without pressure lowers cortisol. This is not manipulation. This is translation. You are translating your love into a language they understand. Now let me promise you something. If you watch until the very end of this video, you will not just understand the theory. You will know the exact words to say. You will know the exact moments to step back. You will know the 3 signs that space is working, and you will never chase again, because chasing is exhausting. It steals your sleep, it steals your peace, and worst of all, it steals your self-respect. But creating space? That gives you back your power. It gives you back your calm, and sometimes it gives you back their heart. So here is where we start, right now. Close your eyes for a second if you can, take a breath, and say this to yourself. I am enough without their reply. I am whole without their attention. I will not chase. I will attract. You have been fighting so hard. It is time to rest. It is time to trust. It is time to create space. And in that space, you will find something unexpected. You will find yourself again. And maybe, just maybe, they will find you too. But do not do it for them. Do it for you. Because the key to an avoidance heart is not more love. It is wiser love. And wise love knows when to stand close. And wise love knows when to step back. Now let's go deeper. Let me show you exactly how space rewires an avoidance brain, step by step. Truth by truth. Continue breathing. Continue staying open. The first section gave you the map. Now this section will give you the engine. You now understand that space is not rejection. Space is invitation. But how exactly does it work inside an avoidance mind? Let me walk you through the 3 psychological phases that happen when you stop chasing and start creating space. Phase 1 is called relief. When you pull back, The avoidant's first reaction is not missing you, it is relief. Their nervous system finally stops screaming. They feel like they can breathe again. You might misinterpret this relief as proof they do not care. Do not fall for that trap. Relief is not indifference. Relief is the feeling of a wound finally left alone to heal. Think of someone with a sunburn. If you keep touching it, they flinch. When you stop touching, they relax. That relaxation does not mean they hate your touch. It means they needed a break. Avoidants are emotionally sunburned. Their past left them raw. Your space is the cold water they have been begging for. During this relief phase, they will not reach out. They might even seem distant. That is normal. Let them have it. Do not interrupt their exhale. Phase 2 is called curiosity. After the relief settles, something shifts. The avoidant notices your absence, not in a painful way, in a curious way. They wonder, why aren't they chasing me? For so long, they expected pressure. Your silence is unexpected, and the human brain pays attention to unexpected things. This is pure psychology. We ignore what is predictable. We notice what breaks patterns. You were predictable. You always texted, always asked, always waited. Now you are a new pattern, and that new pattern creates curiosity. Curiosity is the first crack in their wall. It is not love yet, but it is the door opening. Do not rush through that door. Let them peek first. Phase 3 is called reaching. If you hold your space with consistency, something beautiful happens. The avoidant reaches out, not because you force them, because they want to. Their nervous system now associates you with safety instead of pressure. They remember that you did not demand, you did not punish. You simply stayed steady. And steady is rare. Most people are storms. When they find someone steady, they hold on. Not tightly, but gently. Now listen closely. This reaching will not look like Hollywood. Do not expect a long apology or dramatic love confession. An avoidance reaching is small, a meme, a question about your day, a one-word text after 3 days of silence. That is huge for them. That is their heart extending a tiny finger. Your job? Stay calm. Match their energy. Do not say, "Oh my God, you finally texted." That will scare them back into silence. Simply reply with warmth, but not overexcitement. Be happy they reached, but do not act starved. Starving energy repels. Full energy attracts. Let me give you a sentence to remember. Write it in your mind. You cannot heal someone's fear by feeding your own. Your fear says, if I do not reply fast, they will leave. But their fear says, if they reply too fast, I am trapped. So whose fear wins? Neither. You both lose. The only winner is space. Space sits between both fears and dissolves them. So how much space exactly? This is where people get lost. They ask, should I wait 1 hour, 1 day, 1 week? Numbers do not matter. Energy matters. The right amount of space is the amount that lets you sleep at night and lets them breathe during the day. If you are counting minutes, you are still chasing. True space means you are not counting. You are living. You check your phone when you finish your work. You reply when you genuinely have time. You do not sit by the window waiting. Here is a hard truth. If creating space feels impossible, the problem is not them. The problem is your attachment to them. And that is okay. You are not bad for feeling attached. But you must see it clearly. You are holding on to them because you are afraid of being alone. That fear will always push an avoidant away. The only cure for that fear is not their love. It is your own life. Build a life so full that their presence is a bonus, not a necessity. When you reach that place, you will not need to force space. Space will happen naturally, and ironically, that natural space is exactly what makes them stay. Let me explain why this works using something called the rubber band theory. Imagine a rubber band between you and the avoidant. When you pull toward them, the rubber band stretches. Tension builds. At some point, the rubber band snaps back. That snap is their withdrawal. But if you let go of your pull, the rubber band relaxes. No tension, no snap, and now they can move toward you without fear. Most people keep pulling. They think pulling creates closeness. It creates the opposite. It creates a snap. Now, what if they never come back? What if you give space and they stay gone? This is the fear that keeps people chasing. Let me answer it directly. If you give space and they never return, they were never yours to keep. Not because you are unworthy, because they are unavailable, and no amount of chasing would have changed that. Chasing would have only delayed the ending and cost you your dignity. Space gives you the truth faster. And the truth, even when painful, is a gift. But here is what usually happens. Most avoidants do come back, not because you tricked them, because space allows them to feel their own feelings. When you are always there, they never have to miss you. When you step back, they finally feel the silence. And in that silence, they hear their own heart. That heart says, wait, I do care. Let me give you 3 signs that space is working. Sign 1, they start initiating contact. Even small things, even random things. The direction of effort changes. Before, you were the one reaching. Now they reach sometimes, not always, but sometimes. That is huge. Sign 2, they share something personal without being asked. Avoidants hoard their inner world. When they offer a piece without pressure, it means they feel safe. Do not analyze the piece. Just receive it warmly. Sign 3, they stay longer. Before, conversations were short. They found excuses to leave. Now they linger. They ask you questions. They do not run the second things feel intimate. That lingering is trust being built. If you see these signs, do not celebrate out loud. Do not say, see, my space worked. Stay calm. Stay steady. You are building a new foundation. Foundations take time. Now a warning. Avoidance will test your space. They will pull back again, sometimes right when things feel good. Do not panic. This is not failure. This is their old programming. Every time they pull back, you have a choice. Chase or stay calm. If you stay calm, you teach their brain a new lesson. This person does not punish my space, so I do not need to fear closeness. That lesson takes repetition. Be patient. Be consistent. You are rewiring years of hurt. It will not happen in a week. Let me remind you why you are doing this. You are not doing this to manipulate them. You are doing this to become free, because whether they stay or go, you win. If they stay, you have a healthier relationship. If they go, you have yourself back, and you are not a consolation prize. You are the whole show. One last deep sentence for this section. The saddest thing in love is not losing someone. It is losing yourself trying to keep them. Do not lose yourself. Create space. Watch them wonder. Watch them return. Or watch yourself realize you no longer need them to return. Either way, you rise. You have the map. You have the engine. Now go build a love that does not suffocate, a love with room to breathe, a love where space is not emptiness. It is the quiet yes that speaks louder than any scream. You are ready. Keep going. The next section will give you the exact words to say when they come back. But for now, practice the silence. Practice the breath. Practice being the harbor. The ships will come. And if they do not, you were always the shore. And shores do not chase. Shores simply wait, beautifully, calmly, forever whole.